Good evening, everybody. Welcome back, finally, to FPL Fat Pod Lads Extra Time. It's been a few weeks, so hope you've missed us. I know Jay has, he's already in the comments. Hello, Jay. Hope you're good, mate. We've lost Indy already, which isn't a great start. But there we go. But we are back. We are back on a new day, a new time. Suits people that work a little bit better, which is always a good thing. Rossi, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm good.
Hindi is back, kind of. How you doing, Hindi? All right?
Sorry there, chaps. My computer just decided to freeze.
You doing well?
Yeah, I'm getting by, mate.
Getting by.
Got my pedo glasses on.
Dharma glasses on. But yeah, like I said, we are back. It's been a few weeks, but new day, new time. This is the time we're going to be going for every week, Mondays at 8 p.m. So we hope that the people that do join us can continue to join us. And like I said, one of them is Jay, because he's already been in the chat before the show even started, saying it. Good evening. So good evening to you, Jay. I hope your FPL is going well. But let's talk FPL. That is why we're here. I'm going to start with some news in our league, our mini league. So we have obviously got a little league against each other. We do compete against each other. Now, Russell, who has been top since the beginning, really, had a commanding lead, can't be here tonight.
Yeah, innit? Yeah.
Surprisingly, because we have a new leader, Rossi, who has jumped up the leaderboard. And this week, with still Palmer to play, has gone into top spot. As you can see, those point differences this week are huge. Obviously, Rossi has used bench boost this week, but from a point of obscurity, really, Rossi, you've kind of clawed your way up a little bit more. When I thought I was closing you down at one point, you've pulled away from me and then pulled away from Bugden, and now you've caught up Russ and overtaken him. Talk us through this transformation.
Let's just talk about the 27 from Bugden first. I mean,
yeah.
That's shocking. What is he doing? What is he on?
Yeah, there's another one that can't be here this week. With,
I wouldn't want to be here after
when I got under 30, mate, I still had to be here and face everybody, but no Bugden this week. But yeah, you've kind of taken the league by storm, actually, because a few weeks back, obviously, I think you were 80, 90 points behind Russ at one point. Yeah. But you kind of stayed in that second spot pretty much the whole season. Russ said for most of the season, I know he said he didn't, but he has been saying for most of the season, I'm well ahead, I'm clear. Doesn't matter now. He made a mistake a couple of weeks ago, I think, by wild carding.
Gave it large.
Which has messed him up a little bit, but it's allowed you to close that gap.
It's weird, though. He private messaged me a meme of this.
That's why he can't be here, mate.
Yeah.
But no, I've just I've been picking up probably 10 points for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, and then obviously this week I've just hit 30 or 40 points more than him. To be totally honest, I've stopped making stupid subs that I didn't need to. I was making subs like, I'll put him on the bench just in case. You're making a sub for putting him on the bench, like, do you know what I mean? Things like that. So I saved I think I got up to 3 or 4 subs one of the weeks, and then done a couple, and then I still had a couple for the next few weeks. I think Mateta's massive for me. He's been massive for me since he's come in. I thought they had a great run of games. I'm a little bit annoyed that Sarr was yellow this week, because otherwise I would have left him in. Not that he'd done too much, but it would have saved me the 4 points of swapping the defenders and an anger about, because he didn't do nothing. But yeah, just slow and steady, really, trying to keep ahead of the game. I've got a good team. Most of my players play all 90 minutes, and the ones who are injured or don't play, I've got the bench that will play. So
yeah, I'm going to try and pull up your team. It is one of these. I'm just not sure which one. I'm going to guess this one. Nope,
that's one with a big 80 above it, mate.
Yeah, not that one. Get that 47 out of my life. That's no chance. Get rid of that.
There we go. Now, I don't have your bench on it because I couldn't fit it on, but
yeah, it's not worth looking at, to be fair.
Obviously you bench boosted this week, and the reason I understand your reasons why, because for those that don't know, for the last 4 weeks, Rossi's bench has almost outscored his team. He's been getting massive points off his bench, and the 1 week he uses a bench boost, nothing kind of happened. So, talk me through the team, talk me through the differentials you've got, and why it's being such a different for you and helping you take over Russ.
Well, I mean, the bench boost for me, really, I mean, it was partly as soon as I think I had a 40 40-point bench one week, 30 the next week, and it was just tempting after that every week just to do it. But realistically, the reason I done it this week is, one, all had nice games, and two, we're starting to run out of games slowly but surely, game weeks. And I think with this manager one takes 3 games up. I've got triple captain still takes a game up. I've got wild card, which takes a game up that you can't use another chip. So straight away, there's 5 or 6, maybe even up to 8 weeks with the manager card that I'm not going to be able to use a bench boost.
Yeah.
So I kind of went for it. Well, there's a few against Southampton. There's a few. My killer for me, I think, really was Bernardo not starting.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't help.
If he starts that game and it stays the same game and it's 6-0, he's involved in 2 or 3 of them, in my opinion. But yeah, so that kind of killed me. So it weren't the best week to add my bench boost. But like I say, it was more a case of looking forward. Was I going to get lucky enough to find a nice game week where I've got all my bench players fit, playing, all sorts like that? You know, Palmer was a little bit of a worry. But yeah, I mean, I've just, as much as I've got a lot of people's players, I've got a lot of players that no one's got. You know, not a lot of people had Hall for a long time. I was probably one of the first to get him. Anya, me and Russ have had for quite a while. I'm surprised no one else has got him. I think Indy went Milenko, whatever his name is. And then obviously, like I say, Mateta, Sarr done me well last week. I've had Bernardo. I think he got me an assist or something the first week I put him in. And no one else has really had them or you know, a lot of people kept Mbeumo. Or like I think Russ and Bugden went to Gordon, which I thought was a great call. He's in good form. But yeah,
do you know what is interesting is one thing that worked for you really well this week, and Russ has been kind of primed for it all season, is your captain choice.
Yeah,
you were the only one that backed Wood.
I was shocked.
In hindsight, Hindi and me can say, "Oh, it'd have been a great shout" or whatever else, but we didn't go that route. You did go there, and obviously it's got you 24 points. It's paid off. But another position that's kind of paid off is Dubravka, because I mean he's been on your bench a couple of weeks with 10 pointers, but he has been scoring frequently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm so shocked. I was the only one who went Wood in our group anyway. I thought minimum. I thought a couple of you might have gone Isaac. But Salah, I didn't think Salah was the call at all. He had a poor game. He had a poor game the week before, and Brentford at home. No, you know, they're a decent team. So I was very shocked that I thought Indy might, because Indy's a Salah.
I wanted to do it. Everything in me was telling me to do it, and I just bottled it. And I had him in until about 10 o'clock on the morning. I was like, to be fair, look, am I overthinking it? Like, Salah is Salah. Like, if he gets a penalty, he's getting a goal for that. He gets 10 minimum. That's 20. Wood could blank. Like, Southampton. Definitely. Yeah, and that's the issue, right, behind it. But as soon as the game week started, as in like 11 o'clock, and it was locked in, I knew I'd made a mistake. I said it in the group. I was like, I wanted Wood, and I bottled it. And I legit actually am now hating the fact that I didn't go for Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about bottling it, nobody bottled it as big as me this week. 3 minutes before the deadline, deciding to transfer out Clivert for Anthony Gordon. Who then goes 2 minutes before the deadline. I was like, yeah, it's a good move. And then he goes and scores hat-trick in the first game against Newcastle.
And sets one up.
Yeah, so I had a bit of a nightmare, along that side. And I think I've got to learn from that and just leave shit alone. Because you know what it's like? The last 5 minutes, you're like, all right, I need to try and do something. What can I do?
Well, when I said earlier about not taking stupid subs and making it, that's what I'd been doing the last, say 5 weeks ago. I was doing that every week. I was sitting there going, you know what? I'll quickly change that just in case. Like, no, stick with your 11 if you're comfortable with your 11 that start. And I think it helps without Haaland. You'll find out this week or the next few weeks now, Dave, if you are taking Haaland out.
Yeah.
You'll find out that all of a sudden you're going, oh, actually, who do I put? Because he's going to play. Oh, he looks good. Oh, they've got Ipswich. And look, like, because even last week, and that's the reason I've done my bench boost. I thought, oh, Southampton, Ipswich, Wolves sitting on my bench. That could be, if Palmer smashes tonight, all of a sudden I've got 20, 30 points from my bench again. So
I think the Haaland thing is interesting. I mean, I'm probably, where is my team? Here's mine. So I'm the only person that's stuck with Haaland throughout this dry spell. I backed him as a captain this week against Ipswich. They scored 6, he only got 1, which was frustrating. But in terms of captain picks this week, he's second highest in our league. So I think that's quite important. Obviously, everyone else went Salah and Isak, and they did nothing. So he has, breaking news, but I have transferred him out this week because I think for 15 million, when you are looking at 15 million for a player, is it really worth that in terms of the points he's going to get you? And I'm starting to see that it's not really worth it, because for a Haaland money, you can go and get an Mbeumo, and a Isak, or you can go and get a Mateta and an Isak, and then you've got 2 very good forward options, for example. So I've stuck with it because he's Haaland, and I thought it might turn in my favour a little bit. It really hasn't. He's really struggled.
So just so I'm clear, Dave, you've gone from Haaland to Isak, and you've gone from Rodgers to
I've made one change this week. That's Haaland to Isak. That's my only change. That's the only transfer I've made. And
then next week you go for a Liverpool player.
Well, and that's exactly what I'll be doing. So I've actually logged myself out of the app because I don't want to be on it, because I don't want to touch it now. I don't want to touch it until.
But then if you've taken Haaland out, or say Isak, you've got about 5 million burning a hole in your pocket.
About 7, 8, yeah.
7.4 million I'll have in the bank. I'm not going to touch it though. So my plan, realistically, is obviously we have to pay for a manager. This manager, we have to pay for a manager. So yeah, I'll have 7 million in the bank, but then next week, with the extra money, it allows me to upgrade, maybe a defender to Trent, or a midfielder to.
Don't get Trent.
or my goalkeeper to Alisson for a double or something. You see what I mean? So it gives me that extra money where I can then go, okay, well, I can upgrade and get the best version, or get a Darwin Núñez, for example, for the double. But it's there's options available to me in that respect. But knowing my luck, Haaland will score a hat-trick against Chelsea. He'll put 2 against Arsenal, and I'll be sitting there kicking myself like, why did I take him out? But I just feel like everybody's taken that decision to do it. I've got to do it, because when I'm looking at everyone else's teams, they're so much better everywhere.
Yeah,
you look at everyone
for a long time.
Yeah. Now. You look at my team, and like there's so many different places. There are so many places that I can upgrade. So it's not too shabby. I mean, Munoz has got me quite a fair few points from Palace. I'm hoping Aït-Nouri gets me a clean sheet today, and that will put me up to 3rd above Bug. But there's just so many different options that I can improve. My bench is awful. Like you said, Rossi, we're running out of weeks to use bench boost. So that extra money I can then use on players to put on my bench who do play frequently, which will enable me to use bench boost in a way.
Well, this is probably the first year for me that I've actually not gone with 2 players that are not usually. I'll go for a 4 and a 4, or maybe a 4 and a 4.5. Probably won't play, but that gives me a 5.5 on the bench. So I've got 1 player. Whereas this year, without massively, it's a completely different story when you've got 15 million of Haaland on your team. But without him, you have a great bench. Like I say, week in, week out, I'm thinking, oh no, do I play Rodgers against Everton, or do I play Sarr against Southampton? That's a tricky one. What do I So it's a good thing to have, obviously. But it's worked so much better for me this year having players on the bench. Not that I've actually gained a lot, because I think I don't think anyone, to be fair, I think you done it with your captain choice once, didn't you, Dave?
Yeah.
You blagged it off the bench or the captain choice, but not a lot of people are getting the 15, 20 points blags from Indy used to win the game.
Yeah, no, and I have noticed that as well. And like I said, when I do look at everyone else's benches, and that is the big thing, and I do look around at your bench and Hindy's bench, and without that Haaland, because 15 million is massive. That's 3 decent players. That's 5 million players.
Well, like you say, it's nearly half the price for Isaac.
Yeah.
Or Watkins, or any one of them kind, and then all of a sudden you've got 5, 6, 7 mil that you can spread over 3 players and take them from a 5 to a 7 straight away.
I think the thing for me, and it kind of leads nicely on to the next point, is I watched Hindy do it a few weeks ago, where he did take Haaland out and he replaced that and spread that money. And in doing so, he has closed up from, if you look at the league, he was 100 points behind at one point between me and Bugden. He has pulled that back. He is now 30 points behind me. You know,
And when was it? Was it this week or before the Ahmad hat trick? He was only like 4 points or something.
4 points. Before Ahmad got a hat trick, mate, I had squeaky bum time. That's all I'm saying. And it was because I took Iwobi out for Ahmad and Iwobi scored 2. And I was like, oh, no, I've done it again. I've panicked last minute. Then obviously Ahmad got me a 12-minute hat trick. Hindi disappeared off the chat for the night, and I was loving life. So that kind of saved me a little bit. But Hindi, like I said, he's made up huge ground. And I know we have
that was a big Man United relegation 6-pointer. That was. We were worried about going down before that hat trick.
I do make jokes, but I am one of the people that have said that he will make a push after Christmas. He will come out of nowhere, and you won't not see it coming. And I kind of haven't seen it coming. It was only when I got sent in the group, Hindi's 4 points off Dave. I was like, what? Where's these 96 other points gone? You know, because that's a different.
Dave, in the chat, your daughter has just messaged, said, "Oi, Dad, are you losing?" It's not weight he's losing. That's definitely not the case.
I've got loads of weight, but oh, Dad, are you losing? It's my daughter is in the chat. Hariana. I am. Yeah, I'm not doing great. I'm 4th at the moment. Hopefully 3rd after tonight. I'm hoping for a clean sheet. I'll take top 3 any day of the week. But yeah, Hindi, back to your team. Like I said, you did the Haaland transfer. You bit the bullet a few weeks back. It's kind of paid off. Your team is here somewhere. Is it this one? There we go. Talk me through it. What have you done that's helped you? You know,
the thing is, a few weeks back, I just kind of. I've had 3 or 4 really, really good weeks. I think I got like.
All right, mate.
Mate.
Yep. You've gone all silent. He froze.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Oh, there you go. Right, try again.
I'm off my phone, innit? But I've had a couple of good weeks. I've had 60 odd, 80 odd, and 90 odd. It's been, captain choices being the right ones. I had Salah one week when I put him in. I had Isaac one week, and it's just really, really helped me to have points spread out across the team. It's just been a bit of a difference maker. I went through a bit of a phase there of not a lot of points coming in from captains, and Haaland was a big part of that because I have been able to spread the money out. The problem is our teams are very similar now. Whether it's I've got a Nottingham Forest defender, Russ has got a different Nottingham Forest defender, Rossi might have somebody. It's double Arsenal at the back. They're all very, very similar. But I've seen about a 1 million games week kind of rank jump in the last three weeks. So something like that for another 3 or 4 week sustained period, and I should be flying up the table. But this week, Wood not being captain was hurt me a lot. I think if I'd used my head, I should have gone with Wood, but I went with my heart and thought, actually, look, Salah. If the way that they're running through teams at the moment, I thought that they could score 3 or 4, and he's the main guy. He's the pen taker. And in the end, I should have just gone with how shit Southampton are, because if United can score 3 against them, anyone can score 3 against them.
You know what I found quite interesting is when you talk about the Haaland situation. Me and you kind of stuck with it for a long time, and obviously I think you made a comment earlier on in the season that you were tinkering too much. You were going to the toilet and sitting on FPL trying to figure out ways to catch up. Have you stopped that now? Have you just gone, okay, right?
No. Do you know what? That Haaland move was actually out of my hands. Saka got injured, and so that Saka money had to go elsewhere. It basically meant that I had to go from Saka to Salah, and the only way to do that was get rid of Haaland. Otherwise, I probably would have kept him, because I would have had to have kept him. In the end, it probably helped me gain 40-odd points over a few people, because a lot of people didn't have Salah captain the week that he got 16. But it swings in roundabouts. Do you know what I mean? Like I've been lucky with Bournemouth and kind of Forest. Jacob Murphy's been all right with a few points. Isaac, when he was captain and he got 2 goals and an assist. I've just for the first time this season, I had like a run of about 3 or 4 weeks with a decent captain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Normally,
see, that does help. That's kind of how Russ kind of pulled away from everybody at the beginning, wasn't it? Because his captain,
everyone had Haaland.
Yeah,
he was the only one to go early doors and say, "No, I'm not doing that."
Yeah,
and made massive because Salah in the early season was
smashing it. Yeah,
smashing.
And that's the thing. Haaland's he's been so well. City have been. Oh, there's a goal gone in for Chelsea. Well, look, I think it's offside though, so no one cares. But yeah, no, I think that was such a big thing for him. But I'm going to pull up Russ's team because he has had a little bit of where is he? Who's that? That's me. Where is he? He's here somewhere. That's Bogdan. It's got to be this one. There he is. I'm going to pull up Russ's team because he's got a really strong team still. But again, it's very similar to everybody else's, and that's kind of the issue we're all having at the moment.
Yeah.
Rossi, you're getting points for people like Mateta.
Well, it was surprised. I was shocked. He told me he'd done his wild card. I think the week you got the wild card or the week later. Yeah. I was shocked because I thought his team was, obviously because he was top, the best team out there. Do you know what I mean? He was beating us with it. So I was very shocked that he used that so early. And I think that a bit of his problem was he got people in like Rodgers, who, all right, he might be getting points, but everyone already had him. So he's got him at 5.2 million, where everyone had him at 5 or so. You know what I mean? Little bits like that. And then if you do that week in, week out, I mean, I don't know what the value of his team is. I think I looked earlier, mine was 1.6 or something, 106. Sorry, should I say? But yeah, so I was very shocked that he done that. But still, on paper, that's a decent team. But he's now got every player that I've got. But I've got, in my eyes, better differentials.
Yeah, your Mateta differential is massive. I mean, the thing about Mateta was that I was locked in him at the end of last season, and he got me loads of points. But Palace have started so poorly this season, I feel like everyone kind of forgot about him, if that makes sense.
Well, that's why I went with the double. I was going to put Eze in, him and Eze, but I didn't quite have enough, so that's why I went with Sarr. And they got a little lovely run of games. Although now I think the West Ham game's slightly harder now that Potter's there. But yeah, he had a nice run of games, and I thought exactly the same as you. He had a little run of form last year. He could get some goals, and he has. He's got 3 or 4 goals. The goal's been given.
Yeah. Oh, has it been given? Is it?
Yeah.
Who is that who scored?
Tolson, that centre back, and
well, there goes my Nori clean sheet, and my hope of getting above Bug this week, unless he gets me an assist, because that would be nice. But I do want to talk about Bug because he has to work tonight, conveniently. Where is he? With a week like this? No, that's me. This 27 points.
Yeah, the shocker. He's had a shocker. But look on paper, that's not a bad team.
No, it's a solid team, and that's kind of the thing. Point scoring, I think this season's actually been quite hard. There's been a few weeks where I've hit just 30 or just above 30, and it's been hard. But when I am chasing him down, which I am doing, when you look now, I'm 5 points or whatever it is off him. It's squeaky bum time for Bug. He's having the same moment that I had last week when Indy was 4 behind me. He's now 5 ahead of me.
It's nice that you lot are all battling it out, to be fair.
Yeah, and it's nice that we're all battling it out. Like, there's sections. You and Russ are having a little battle at the top. But
it's good for the top because, like, for me at the top, usually I'm in that third and fourth place kind of battle. But it's nice at the top that every time you overtake Bug means Bug's lost on me. And every time, you know what I mean? But I'm still gaining on you. Yeah, so it's quite. It's worked out quite nice.
Point was about 20 points behind you. I think you're over 100 ahead of me now.
Yeah, last 3 weeks I've gained so many on you.
So it is interesting, but I want to ask you both a question. Like, obviously, Rossi, I'll go with you first. You're now ahead of Russ. How do you see this league? If top 5, how does it go? Who's top? Who's bottom? Where does everyone finish?
I mean, it is what it is right now, isn't it?
You think it stays as it is right now?
I think pretty much. I think Indy could sneak up a place. I do, but the problem he's got, like he mentioned earlier, he now has to put players in, either the players that we've already got, so he's not gaining from, just to cover off, or he's got to think outside the box and think, I've got to put that there or try something different. But the way he's been playing last 3-4 weeks, like I say, he's built up 60, 70 points easily on you guys. And even I think he had when Bugden showed that thing the other day, 2 months he's been on the top, and month scorer. So he's even caught up on me and Russ. So, that could change. But I think unless something drastic happens, or the whatever chips you guys have got left, unless they pay it off really well for you, I think at this stage, like you said, if you say you're 100 points behind, that means you've got to be finding 10 to 20 points every single week from now on to kind of catch up, and then hope that my chips don't go right and vice versa. So for me, I think it's mine. Fuck Russ, he's not here, is he?
To be honest, I think Russ will win it, and I think it's because the chip strategy that you guys have used isn't great, but you're effectively offsetting each other. But I think with free hit, wild card, stuff like that, I think that favours him.
I think the free hit is massive for him. Like I said, I spoke to him whenever it was last week, and he said, "Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of free hitting next week." And I said, "Mate, don't even go there." I said,
"I'd be like, yeah, do it."
Yeah, but no, but it's like your free hit. You've just changed your team anyway with a wild card. Then you're going to use your free hit and get your wild, and you're back to your wild card team. You've got blank game weeks coming up that I can't do anything about, apart from a wild card. If I have 3 or 4 of my teams, I am here.
He is here. He's listening.
Yeah. See, you know what I mean? They're trying to help him out. He's second place, this guy. But yeah, for me, whoever's got a wild card now has to wait for the next round of the FA Cup. See who goes through.
I think 32-33 is a good shout. I actually think this manager chip is going to play quite a big part in how things change in the league. Yeah, I really do, because if you pick a manager who has decent, I was reading about it today, but has decent fixtures and get decent results against decent teams, but you're talking big points. That could be the difference between somebody, Hindi, for example, jumping from bottom to second, or it could be the difference from me jumping from 4th to 2nd. You see what I mean? So I just think that chip, if that's used correctly, whoever uses that correctly will win, in my opinion. I mean, I've still got bench boost, wild card, triple captain, and that manager chip to use. Yeah,
well, that manager chip could be massive, because I think me and Russ were working out the other day. Like, if you get a lower, it's going to be hard to get a lower team that's playing. It's got to be 5 places above you or something, can it? Yeah. So it's going to be hard to find a lower place team that's going to play 5 places above you 3 games in a row. But if you
never know, Spurs could get all their players back, go on a little run, mate. They're 15th at the moment.
Spurs can get all their players back and still be 15th, mate.
Mate, I've already said this, and I've said it quite a lot. I think we'll get top 4 next season and come up through the playoffs.
All right, mate. We can't say much.
We'll be there together, mate. Tottenham United battling out for 4th place in the Championship. But Indy, come on, the same question to you then. How does it finish? How does the league finish?
I'd be shocked if it wasn't the top 2, because they've built up quite a bit of a lead. But one thing I will say is that where they're using their chips, I think that gives a little bit of space for us to catch them, because it means that they'll have to either make transfers, which is losing points, or they will be stuck having to wait to do it 1 transfer at a time or something like that if they haven't built up transfers, which means that we can probably make a 20 or 30 point jump just even on 1 given week. I would suggest that I'll probably come 3rd. Yeah. And I reckon it
something
will be...
he's never done in his life.
Yeah. I reckon... I think Dave will come 4th.
Oh,
and I think Bugden will go bottom. But it's not so much because of anything that Bugden has done or won't do. I feel like you tinker so much that actually you'll probably just pick up a point here or there.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Bugden is a bit reactive to it. I mean, you are the kind of guy that when somebody gets a hat trick, puts them in.
Yeah,
but the chances are
I've kind of been telling myself, and this is one of the reasons why I've deleted the app for the rest of the week, because I've done my team, it's set. I don't want to touch it at all. I'm not going to take any minus points or anything like that. I'm hoping Rossi forgets his password again and logs himself out. That's what I'm kind of hoping. I'm hoping Russ breaks his phone or something, and they
Mate,
can't.
I ain't logged out in 3 years.
They can't change their team for weeks or whatever else. But I think I'll finish second or third. Personally, I think that's where I'll end up. I think
Second or third, eh?
Second or third. I don't think I'll win it. I think that I do think Russ will win it. I think he'll pull away again. So it's going to be interesting.
He ain't about it, guys. Look, where is he? Where is he? In the comments.
Yeah, he's gone off top spot, and all of a sudden I can't make 8, boys.
Yeah, but I can write your comments. I've got all my chips. Eat your fucking chips. What's your problem?
Yeah, I've got all my chips. Got my chips by one guy.
To be fair, he's been a bit aggy the last few weeks, and then obviously the meme about him choking and stuff.
He just said driving. He ain't got a fucking driving license, mate. He means a passenger, so he could
look. In all honesty, he's in a better position than I am.
Yeah,
even though I'm
what chips do you have left?
I've got the triple captain, wild card, and the manager.
So he's got all of them: free hit, triple captain, wild card, and bench boost.
He ain't got the wild card.
Okay,
he's only manager. We've both got 3, but I would say his 3 are better. He's got that free hit's going to be massive on game weeks. But at the same time, I've got 4.5 million in my bank. I've got transfer. So if I can build them up, all of a sudden, then game weeks don't mean nothing.
And that's what I said earlier about the free hit. Because it is, if you get 5 transfers, that's a mini free hit. So you kind of have to plan for that in terms of you look at, okay, here's an empty game week that week. When's a double going to be?
And like I said earlier, that was the reason I've used my bench boost this week purely for that fact. Right now, I've got the team I need. I can build up, and if it gets to 32 and there's 4 teams playing, I can change 4 players and then still have a wild card if I need to change on 36. So I've left myself with options, but I do think he's in a better place with a free hit.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Hey, Indy, you got many chips left? You used many?
I've got all of them. I used my wild card at the beginning of the season for that one, but everything else is still there to be used. To be honest, nothing's jumped out to me where I thought, no, I need to do it this week. Whereas in previous seasons, I think when Rashford had a double game week and then he banged, I think Salah 1 year got me 96 points or something from a triple captain. So all of those little things. Sometimes when you see one, you know you have to do it. That hasn't happened this year, but I'll wait for double game week. So I think obviously Liverpool have got one coming up. Whether I use that one for triple captain for Salah or not is a question. He has gone off a little bit of form now. He's not scored in 2 weeks.
He didn't look interested either. Did not look interested the other day.
Yeah. I think to a certain degree his head might have been turned with transfers as well now with all of this going on.
Yeah. Once January's over, might change.
Exactly. So I'm still umming and ahhing as to whether I will do it on this double game week because I know there'll still be double game weeks to come. But it seems reasonably good because Everton and I believe Bournemouth. Seems like a good double fixture, but
Bournemouth tricky, to be fair.
Bournemouth are tricky, and that's what I mean. You never know which Bournemouth's going to. I mean, I thought Newcastle would smash them at the weekend. That's one of really.
Yeah, but that's because you don't understand football, mate.
Well, everybody else but Isak is captain, pretty much. So
not me.
No, I didn't either. I went for Haaland, but I wanted to give him one last shot before I sack him off. But look, like I said to you, I don't really feel like we got too much more to talk about this week. As it stands at the moment, Chelsea are beating Wolves 1-0, but we are going to keep this slot every week. Hopefully the other boys will be back. I bugged them to defend this 27-point week. I feel like next week he needs the thumbnail week. It's got to be Bugden's turn. Indy's had his, I've had mine. Rossi and Russ are too far ahead to even give a shit about themselves. So it's got to be Bugden's 27 week next week. But we'll see where we lie next week. If you want to jump over onto Twitch as well, Luke and Winnie are currently streaming FIFA. If you want to go and watch them, crack on. But anything else you boys want to talk about? Well, I think I'm pretty much.
No, mate.
No, all good. All good. Well, short show, boys, but thank you very much for coming back. And we hope to see you all next week at a time where will it be Russ? Will it be Rossi? Will they be top? Will Hindi still be bottom? Or will have Bugden fallen further? But until then, we'll see you all soon.
Peace out.
Indeed.
No, he isn't.